hello YouTube. This is round 3 of the Mathew Pikus match. I had the white pieces again, so it was not going to be a London. I had the choice again to do a Philidor, but I am sticking to only playing d4, just so I can at least make a little progress in that, get some practice. So I went d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, so far following the first game. In the first game, he played bishop f5, and I got a pretty good position after like g3. But here he went knight c6. This could transpose into a lot of things. It seems like it might be like he's just gonna play e5. I didn't really care. I just went g3 again to try and get a structure I know. e5. d5 is pretty automatic. Knight e7, bishop g2, g6, castles, bishop g7, knight c3, castles, and e4. So this is all very standard stuff. Like both white has played perfect so far, black has played, you know, a weird opening. So the moves haven't been bad, they just have been kind of subpar. But like they align with what he's doing. So he has like kind of like a King's Indian structure, but I don't know, pretty bad. I feel like white's play is coming faster. So he was knight d7. Usually the idea is to play f5. And I went knight e1 because that is what Uncle Yermo told me to do when he was resident GM. He said to play knight e1 and d3 because it supports both f4 and c5. And I was like, wow, that makes a lot of sense. I'll do that from now on. So f5, knight d3. It's not a big deal to me if he takes here because, yes, I'm losing a center pawn, but my knight's going to be extremely hard to kick out of the center. And if he plays something like knight f6, I don't know, I could play like bishop g5 where knight takes f6 and then like just sort of play chess. So it's not a big deal. He played knight f5. Which I thought was a little strange. He obviously wants the d4 square. And I think I had a semi-long think here. And this is where I actually used Nicholas Tice advice to play the move that I played here. Because in round 1, when I played the move bishop f4 instead of bishop e3, if you remember, you can go check the video. That's engagement. Bishop e3 attacked a pawn, and bishop f4 did not. So here I played bishop g5 because it comes with a tempo, clears the way for developing another rook or another piece, putting the rook on c1, which supports c5, and it just felt like very harmonious to me. Queen e8, weird move, you know, that he has to play. Rook c1, very natural. And now every piece I have is like kind of contributing to the center or c5. And once I play c5, if I end up taking on d6, my knight is perfectly placed to target this weak pawn. I can also play bishop d2 to b4. This was an idea that was on my mind. And it's just a good position. So knight d5, or knight d4, excuse me. c5 seems pretty automatic to me. And black's position sucks. This boy's going to be open. Again, he's going to have weaknesses. I'm going to have the c-file. My pieces are really active. His knight on d4 looks nice, but it's not doing a whole lot. So he takes on c5, because if he doesn't take, if he plays something else, like maybe I take on d6 and play bishop d2 to b4, maybe. Also, this is attacked twice. But also, you know, like even if it wasn't, that's a big weakness. So he takes, I take, knight takes, and this is a big decision point. Originally I was going to take with the rook, and I talked myself out of it. I don't remember why. I certainly had a reason. I couldn't tell you what it was, but I remember I had a big think here, and the commentators were wondering why I didn't play rook takes c5. It turns out knight takes c5 is like quite a bit better than rook takes, but I don't know why. Like, let's think about it. This is more of a cleared path. Probably stops some development from happening, controls the e6 square. This move I missed. I didn't see queen b5 ahead of time. It's not such a big deal. But I did miss it. Knight e2 is the threat, queen b2 is a threat. So white to play here, and what would the fans play? Rook takes seems awkward, knight takes feels natural. Yeah, sure. But for some reason rook takes was my natural instinct. Isn't that weird? Knight d3. I don't want to play knight d3 because, like, first of all, it's a retreat. Second of all, he can start to think about, like, sacrificing this pawn for, like, oodles of activity. I don't know, like bishop f5 or something. Probably gonna win this pawn as well. And then this boy's, like, it's getting closer to equal. He could also play bishop f5 right now. That's probably better. So I don't want to go backwards and allow activity. I played the move a4, which I thought was very reasonable. Because now if he takes on b2, well, first of all, I gain some space. This pawn is further up the board. It's ready to do some you know, minority attack type things. Second, it's not attacked anymore when he takes on b2. And now after rook b1, there's certainly some pressure on the light squares and on the b file. If I put another rook on c1, like it's Banco-like pressure, I thought this was definitely chess. The computer says to just sack the pawn in this way, just play rook e1, and if queen takes b2, then knight d3, and white is like getting the pawn back and keeps the d pawn, and that's all we really need to win. And that makes sense, but I played a4. Queen a3. And then here, like, again, there's only one good move, so it took me a while to find it. So white to play. Rook takes stop the queen move. Yeah, but here's what it was. I didn't see the queen move, so I didn't know I had to stop it. Also, I didn't have to stop it. I just had to play rook e1. So the first thing we should look at, I suppose, is knight takes b7. But, like, after something like rook b8, what do I even do? d6. Sure. What if I just go here? Like, I'm starting to feel like black is closer to being better than white. And keep in mind, I only evaluate positions based on activity. That's my only tool. Bishop e7. Take? Is this good for you? I feel like this isn't good for you. Like, I have two pieces. Bishop e7. No, I'm not gonna play rook e8. I'm just gonna take. I mean, otherwise I do have to do something about the knight. This doesn't work because of just rook e8. I think that was one of my initial intentions. That was my initial intention, but then I was like, oh, that loses. I could play like knight e4, but again, it's a retreat. I didn't really want to do that. So I played the move knight e6, which is the best move, the only move that really keeps a significant advantage. And it might be kind of just like really weird because I'm trading off a very good piece for an undeveloped piece, and it seems like I'm losing a pawn as well. But if he takes with the knight, d takes e6, bishop takes, I take on b7 now, and I'm starting to get kind of a lot of activity here. Like there's discovered attacks. If I take over the 7th rank, it's really dangerous for him. But if he takes with the bishop like he did in the game, he can't really take with the knight because of bishop d5. And then I build up on the pin and I win it, as they say. Or if not, like 2 bishops, surely worth it. So he can't actually win the pawn back. So he goes queen d6. E7 I thought was forced. I feel like I remember someone telling me something here, but I don't know what it was. Someone had some sort of opinion. I went E7 because it defends my pawn, but it moves it as well. And he played this cracked out rook f5. It was shocking to me. I don't know why. It just seemed so bizarre to me. So if I end up losing this e-pawn, really not a whole lot better. That's kind of where it all stems from. I could actually play h4 because if h6, like bishop e3, if he's taking here, I don't know, like, okay, I take on b7 first probably, but then the bishop comes to e4, and this seems like sufficient compensation for 2 pawns, or it's only going to be 1. Someone told me something about this position. I don't know who it was or what they said. I played queen d2, which I thought was a pretty good move because it defends the pawn, but also it opens up this diagonal for my little friend the queen. It's pretty flexible, I thought, and it also prevents h6 permanently. You went bishop f6 with the teensy trick in mind. Chat, why can I not take the bishop? Okay, yeah, I lied. I can take the bishop. It is a legal move. Go eat soup for that contribution. Knight f3, yeah. Oops. Apparently bishop takes f3, queen takes d2. Oh, and I'm just winning. I was just like, oh, there's a trick. Also, rook takes f6, and then he, like, minimum, he wins the pawn, so I just shouldn't do that. Anyway, I played queen a2 check, king g7, and then I took, which was bad. Again, because now it's hard to defend this pawn. I should go bishop e3, and even if he's taking here, like, I take on b7, and I still have bishops to play with. And this bishop is just better than this one. So keep the stuff on the board when king weak. Makes sense. But I traded like an idiot. Played rook takes b7. That's a lot of weird things. The shapes and the colors. Queen takes e7. Yeah, why didn't I play rook c1? Queen c4 is weird. Oh, I remember. Yeah, so rook c1 is my, like, the obvious move, right? But I have no confidence in my ability to not blunder, and I was like, oh, that puts it on a square it can be, like, potentially hung. So I'll just bring the queen in, centralize the queen. And I saw that after this... What did I see? Rook e1. Oh, yeah, if I put my rook on c1, I can't play rook e1 very efficiently while still attacking this. That was my idea. I should play rook b5, apparently. Or queen c3, yeah. I didn't really see what else to do besides win this pawn, and I'm getting very low on time, and I'm trying to make practical decisions. And then he had to put his knight backwards. So this position is so winning. I thought for a long time here, and in most of the lines I considered, I was just giving up my f2 pawn. Like, for some reason, my brain was just like, I don't need that. I'll do something else. And then I was like, oh, like, what if I just play f4? And then this doesn't make as much sense. I thought that was a good practical decision. Some people disagreed. Queen b6 check, king h1, c6. And now here! White to play! I was so proud of this move because it solves everything that's going wrong in the position. And I knew in the game, even when I played this, usually I'm like kind of unsure about how the computer will like something, but here I was absolutely sure that the computer would not only favor this move, but by a wide margin. And it's a move that doesn't like win material or force anything. It's just that good of a positional move. And because of the shapes and the colors, yes. So some of the fans have already seen it, so, you know, they know, but white to play. Zefket's doing a real stream, yeah. The Tism Spidey sense, yes. So what are the problems in the position? Not many. White's completely winning. h4. I do not like h4. That is not a positional move. You get -5 points. Get your pure aggression out of here. a5. a5 is probably also decent because it like just keeps advancing a pawn, and for the endgame, like it comes with tempo. But after a5, queen b2, and the queen is like kind of active here. I didn't really enjoy this imagery. I can probably lose somehow, like if I blunder. I didn't like this. But a5 is a good idea. My move solves that problem along with, hey, with me, all the others. Also, look at his stupid knight. God, his knight is so stupid. I lost this game, by the way. Teehee. Oh, boy. Think in shapes and colors. Thank you, Gelato. Queen c5. Queen c5, they take it, and then their king is not under as much pressure, and they start to activate their boys, and then the f4 move suddenly looks like a bad move because now black has lots of drawing chances. We don't want to trade the queens. All right, 35 points to Fab SXEN1. Queen c3. Give that shit a double exclam. Queen c3 is like a godlike move. Number one, takes away the b2 square. So it makes a5 a lot more... Here, I'm out of focus. It takes away the b2 square. So now a5 is better. It controls this diagonal, which let me tell you is kind of a big deal. Because this rook being pinned is going to be a huge problem. And there's going to be more pieces tied down. I can build up on the pin. It still controls this square. It's just the best move I've ever played. And the computer agrees by a wide margin that queen c3 is best. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it, as they say. And this is how bad the position is. He just plays rook 8 to f7. This rook can't move. This rook has to stay next to this. Like, this can't move anywhere. Like, it's so bad. The knight has to stay here to prevent rook e6. You know? Like, it's bad. This is a bad position. I lost this, by the way. a5, queen b8. Look at his pieces! I'm running low on time at this point. I don't know where my score sheets are, so I can't tell you how much. Again, watch the VOD. But I played the move rook e8 because now the knight is pinned as well. So this is a pin, this is a pin. This is just a stupid piece. The queen is stupid. He goes queen d6. And I go bishop f3, which I thought was a good move because I'm over defending the back rank. I'm giving my king luft. I'm supporting possible, supporting a possible h4, h5 if I so please. I think better would be to follow up, play the idea I find a little later. Knight b7. You know, I don't know. I went rook c8, which is a mistake, but I just was kind of low on time. I wanted to double. I thought this was attacked. Much better would be... What? This move? Just defend the pawn. That makes a lot of sense. And again, he has to find a way to move a piece. Like, that's his issue. He can't move any of his pieces. They're all in the gimp suit. But this is a bad time pressure move. Queen c5, I don't think I saw queen c5. I don't know. I don't think I saw it. I think at this point I should just trade and then take this pawn and be up a pawn, have a good bishop and more active rook, so save your king. And this should be winning for white. But again, like, I think trading queens here is a difficult decision to make because his pieces are so bad. His king is so weak. I kind of want to keep that pressure, and I feel like my queen is holding that all together. So I played the move queen b2, which is another mistake. Knight takes a5. And now I played g4. Which up until when I played it, by the way, was like the best move. Almost every move. G4, the idea is to give checkmate in various ways. Let me tell you, I forgot to mention, this was the other point behind bishop f3, was that if the king runs to h6 in some scenario, when you play g5, h5 is already covered, so g5 would be mate. This is another reason behind bishop f3 I forgot to mention. So I obviously saw it before, I just didn't commit to it till now. Like, if I had played that move like here, no, that hangs the f-pawn, I couldn't do it there. Oh, apparently here it's good. Why is it good here? That's so funny. Because I prepared it, it became bad because now my bishop's hanging after queen takes f4. But here it's not hanging, so I can just take on d8. Wow, okay. Like the shapes and colors were working. Like bishop f3, I wanted to do it. His king doesn't have any air, you know? So but now I play g4 and now it's bad. It says either rook b7 or knight c4, and I think he's just getting active, and I'm weakening things around my king. If my attack fails, then I'm actually the one who's going to start getting attacked. So I don't want to trade queens. I should go queen a1. I actually did not see that. Uh-oh, my computer's freezing. So I missed that this was a move. This is really the time pressure is starting to show. I played the move rook e8 here. Why is that a bad move, chat? Because I know that some of you think it's bad for a reason that it's not. Yeah, queen f1. I can play queen g1, but then he takes my bishop. I very, very confidently hung my queen. If he takes my queen, this is mate in 2. And again, this was the point. And I played this with like a few seconds on my clock. He also had a few seconds, so he did not play queen f1, he played queen c1. To which I responded with the only move that doesn't lose, bishop d1, or the only move that's winning. But now he can take on f4, which I missed. And now, chat, in this position, it is white to play and win. There is one win, there's one move that wins, one move that draws, and every other move is losing. You have like 10 seconds on the clock. Go. Queen takes f4 would be equal for self-explanatory reasons. I waited for my time to tick down to 1 second, played the random move bishop e2 because it was the shortest move and that's bullet instinct. It was like I just play a move and try to hit the clock, and then I think I either flagged on that move or resigned or whatever, but that just like hangs my queen. So essentially I'm saying that I flagged because like what, I mean, this is just, I was like, oh, I have to make a move, and I just made a move. But I would hang mate. That's valid. No one suggested bishop e2. So the correct move is to hang my queen again with h4 and just reinforce my threat. So again, if he takes my queen, I play rook g8 and g5 mate. Queen f1 check, and this is what I had to see. King h2, queen f4, king h3, queen f1, king g3, queen f2, takes, and now after rook g8, again, this is checkmate. He has to go king f6, but now I can take on f2. That's what I had to see. But instead I flagged and I lost this game. So, but, you know, that's chess. That's what happens. Just pretend the game ended with h4, yeah. h4, you know what the annoying thing is, though? Like, I clearly was aware of the idea enough to hang my queen the first time, but I feel like if I had, like, a minute more, maybe 2 minutes, I would have played h4. Because that was the whole, I clearly played it, bishop f3, g4, and hung my queen specifically for this idea to work. And I just, you know? I have this thing where I just assume people just don't believe me when I, like, because you can't prove that I saw it, but it's like, guys, like, look, I clearly Like, come on, you know? Come on, I'm the one who set that shit up. Anyway, I lost that game.